The administration will continue to work to secure the release of Paul Whelan. Some Republicans, meanwhile, used Griner's release yesterday as a chance to criticize President Biden and, in some cases, Brittany Griner herself.
Think about the exchange here. The merchant of death for a WNBA star who was picked up for marijuana. He left a Marine behind. Think about it. It's not an equal exchange.
Let's think about what we did here. We traded a basketball player for a known terrorist, a criminal. I hope Brittany realizes she lives in the greatest country in the world. The price of freedom isn't free. And I sure hope she'll stand for the national anthem now.
Our president's so weak, he couldn't get, these two guys for this one terrorist, really. It's shameful.
On cable news and on social media throughout the day, a number of Republicans sounded off on the prisoner swap. One Georgia congresswoman called for impeaching President Biden over the exchange. You won't be surprised who that was. While Pennsylvania Congressman Scott Perry referred to Griner as, quote, an American who smuggles drugs. Again, she was arrested with vape cartridges at the airport in Moscow. Former President Trump posted on his social media site that Griner hates America, called her release a stupid and unpatriotic embarrassment for the country. Joe.
Well, again, the hypocrisy is just absolutely insane. The same Republicans that were criticizing Joe Biden for not bringing Paul Whelan home conveniently failed to place any blame on the man who was actually in the White House when Whelan was arrested illegally, jailed illegally in 2018. Donald Trump. Why didn't he do anything? Why didn't Donald Trump do anything in 2018 to get Paul Whelan home? Why didn't Donald Trump do anything in 2019 to get Paul Whelan home? Why didn't Donald Trump do anything in 2020 to get Paul Whelan home? He was praising Vladimir Putin the entire time. So why not actually call his buddy and ask him to release an American? I guess because he just didn't give a damn. Well, despite celebrating the releases of other Americans imprisoned while he was in office, Donald Trump didn't publicly utter Whelan's name even once as president. This is according to a review of public remarks and tweets that was carried out by The Independent. Trump clearly had the power to negotiate a prisoner swap deal. However, never was this more evident in 2020 when he negotiated with, get this, not with his friend Putin to get Paul Whelan home, who he didn't give a damn about. He didn't give a damn that Putin arrested Whelan and let him rot in jail for 3 years. Instead, no, he was negotiating with the Taliban, and he freed up 5,000 Taliban terrorists. What did he get in exchange? Nothing. He got nothing in exchange. And he wanted to actually invite the Taliban, the people who actually allowed the 9/11 attacks to happen, to be launched from their country. He invited them on September 11th to Camp David. The hypocrisy is extraordinary. Let's bring in right now staff writer for The Atlantic, Tom Nichols, Pulitzer Prize-winning columnist of The Washington Post, Eugene Robinson. Tom, come on, my God. When these idiots, and they are total idiots, when these idiots go around talking about Joe Biden being a bad negotiator, they're literally talking like in defense of with Donald Trump, the biggest loser, the worst negotiator we've ever had. He falls in love with dictators in North Korea. He completely kowtows to Vladimir Putin in Helsinki, and he doesn't even give a damn about Paul Whelan. Lets him rot in jail for 3 years. Well, Biden and Blinken and this administration are working their tails off to try to get him home.
And the charge about patriotism especially rings hollow. This is one more American not in a Russian labor camp or penal colony. That alone is a good thing. It doesn't matter if it's Griner or anybody else. If you're an American and seeing an American who got an unjust sentence, and that the president of the United States can get that person out of a Russian penal colony, you say, look, that's a good day. That's a good day for the United States. But the Republican answer to everything, and it's a word I've used about Trump many times, it's childlike. There is a kind of almost childlike inability to simply be mature, to be patriotic, and to say, I have my disagreements with the president, but this is a good day for Americans that another one of us, another one of our fellow citizens has come home. Now let's get to work on making sure that they all come home. But of course, they're always performing and cavorting and capering for that audience of one down in Florida.
Yeah, it's all gesturing, always gesturing. And it's so fascinating. They kept talking about with contempt, this basketball player, you know what I call him, Gene? You know what I call her?
What?
An American. And you know what?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And this is why Republicans lose elections. I keep trying to help my former Republican friends. Mm-hmm. This is why you all keep losing elections, because you're so small and petulant and you're petty, and you don't realize that when somebody comes home, there's a celebration. When Americans return home, there's a celebration. I'm not comparing Brittany Griner to the prodigal son. I do bring up the Bible verse where when even the prodigal son comes home, what happens? The father and the family celebrates.
Yes.
And yet this contempt, Gene. And by the way, hiding behind the American flag. She kneeled. She kneeled and she protested injustice as she saw it. And so we should negotiate her return home. And yet these same people, Gene, I haven't heard most of them criticize insurgents, terrorists, mobsters, thugs that use the American flag as a weapon to bludgeon the men in blue, the men and women in blue.
Yeah, they say that was legitimate political discourse, which tells you it's like they're getting smaller and smaller, Joe, really, because this is a moment, I think, when just all compassionate, patriotic, right-thinking Americans should celebrate and should say this is a great day. She was facing 9 years in a grim Russian penal colony, and now she's going to get to come home and supported. Very among the happiest people are the relatives of Paul Whelan, who unfortunately didn't get to come home, but they know what Brittany Griner's friends and family have gone through. They have some idea what she was going through, and they're very happy that this deal was made. I wrote a column yesterday about why this was a great deal and a great day, and of course got reaction from the small-minded, knee-jerk Republicans, all just sort of parroting the line, bad deal, and without any thought, and without any thought to what it looked like, to how it came across. It's you're right. That's why they keep losing elections, and they're going to keep doing it.
Well, and Willie, you look at Kevin McCarthy. It's one thing if they're backbenchers saying stupid things. I was a backbencher once. I said stupid things. It's another thing, though, if you have the guy that's going to be the next Speaker of the House, probably, if he can get 218 votes on the floor, just looking small and petulant and childish. Sometimes Ronald Reagan taught us this. Bill Clinton taught us this. Sometimes you just celebrate when something happens because you're an American. Can you imagine? I can't imagine being in that position or any position where I'm a leader and I'm that angry about an American coming home, especially when I'm sitting back defending a president who never tried to get Paul Whelan home once.
Yeah, and this fits neatly for them into their sort of wedge issues for many of these Republicans. Brittany Griner, a WNBA star who refused to stand for the national anthem in the wake of George Floyd's murder. They look at that detail and they go, okay, there it is. Here's our wedge on this issue. So I guess, Reverend Sharpton, we shouldn't be surprised at all. We've seen this all before, but there are, of course, frustrations. There are, of course, disappointments. There's, of course, devastation in the Whelan family and for a lot of Americans that he was not a part of this deal. But Brittany Griner is home, and that is objectively good news, as the administration has said it will continue to work to get Paul Whelan back to the United States.